Meg. It's gonna be a good show, Meg. Hugh's not here. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, okay.
If Rich are gonna be with us, it's gonna be glorious.
Oh yeah, that part is good.
He was on a phone call. I can't be here. He was on a phone call. Sitting on a balcony in California. Son of a bitch.
I hope he gets pegged by a bird.
I hope the seagull shits in his drink. What's up, Meg?
I'm
Holy
sorry,
fucking
that
wine
last
glass.
one got me.
What the? You always get caught off guard. It's fucking hilarious. You're always like, oh, shit, Billy said something weird.
Yeah, well, you were like, I hope that bird shits in you, beer glass. I was like,
how funny would that be?
He'd be so mad. He'd probably fucking throw that. He'd see some dependent, like, fucking bitch.
He would go on one of his rants. It's so glorious.
He?
So glorious. So what's going on? How's everything going?
It's going pretty good. You know, I'm chilling. I have a really boring life. So like,
oh my God.
I just sit here. I got off the phone with my dietitian because the Navy fucked my stomach up real fucking bad.
Facts.
Like, I ain't supposed to be drinking alcohol, but I told them I can't really stop. I might be an alcoholic.
I love how you pushed it off camera. You're like, I'm not supposed to be drinking the alcohol.
Yeah, it's fine. I told them I only drink 2 nights a week.
That's great, Meg. Let's just lie to them.
Yeah, right. But they were like, you can't have broccoli and like wheat flour bread, like the fucking weirdest things. I can't have cabbage, can't have cauliflower, can't have broccoli, can't have cheese, can't have milk.
So you have a list of stuff that you can't.
Oh yeah, it's like fucking extensive. And I was
let me
like,
guess, you don't follow any of that.
I follow the ice cream one because if I have ice cream, you better make way because that bathroom is going to be my
that is absolutely disgusting. Thank you so much for that.
But I asked them, I was like, so can I still eat meat? And they were like, yeah, you can have whatever you want. I was like, I can have beef? And they're like, yeah. I was like, fuck yeah. And she was like, you can have wine. It's better than gin or whiskey. And I'm like, those are going to be for special occasions. So I can have wine for now.
Now, is there a difference between, is the white wine and the red wine?
I'm sure red wine is way better, but I don't like the taste.
Really?
It tastes like I'm drinking chalk.
Who the fuck can't have broccoli?
That's what I'm saying.
God, you're so Hughes, brother. Anyway.
They think I have like something called diverticulitis and like gallstones. So I'm just like, I guess I'm like a 60-year-old fucking geriatric patient. I was like, you might as well just kill me now. Like, honestly, I love broccoli. So I was like, the fuck?
Some cheesy broccoli? Good to go.
Yo, cheesy broccoli. Like,
dude, what?
Broccoli.
Leslie, that's fucking great.
That's about as exciting as my life gets. Like, in all honesty, I don't do shit.
That's fucking great, man.
Beginning of the school year, I want to kill my advisors. Not really. Don't hurt me. But, like, they piss me the fuck off because, obviously, military advisors at schools don't always get what the fuck you're talking about. And they're just like, I just totally understand. It's like, no, you fucking don't. You fucking cocksucking bitch. Get the fuck someone who knows what's going on.
Slow down, Meg. Slow down.
I can't. I'm Italian. I can't.
Tell us how you really feel. Like, what the fuck?
I hope she chokes on a cock.
Oh, okay. Well, we got some awesome guests who have been with us before, so we're going to bring them in, Rich and Danique, because Meg's going on a spiel, and I want them to get engaged in this fucking conversation. What's up, guys?
What did you bring us into?
I know. Meg's losing her mind. Like, look.
You let me have alcohol.
Troy said no nuts for you.
Yeah, no nuts.
Yeah.
No nuts.
No tree nuts.
In your intestines, apparently, and like
gallstones. I had my gallbladder taken out, and it was fucking. Leslie's on a roll with the comments tonight. When I was in Japan, when I was in Misawa, I was in my fucking dorm room, because I'm not going to call it a barracks. I'm going to call it a dorm room because that's what they were.
Your apartment? You mean your apartment with the mama-sans?
Hold on. My NCO suite is what it really was called. I
wasn't even an NCO and I had a suite.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. When I walked in there the first time, I'm like, I I'm an E5, not an E9. They're like, no, these are the E5 rooms. I'm like, it's 3 rooms. They're like, yeah, you have a bedroom, a living room, a study, and then your bathroom. I just looked at the lady. I was like, not gonna fucking argue with you. That's wonderful. That is amazing. Thank you, Air Force.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah. The Navy would have been like, there's a gray dumpster out back. We just hosed it out. We put a window in, and you can live there.
There's already 4 other sailors standing back there. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you could sleep.
They'll
on the
show you the ropes.
We just cleaned out the pedo ring in there. You're good.
Hey, I'm gonna do this beer challenge now.
Oh yes, do the pickle beer challenge.
All
You know
right,
what? Masawa was the only time I ever got in trouble. Because
Can somebody submit a new a new challenge, by the way? Because
Yeah.
Rich was the last one that had to do it. Me and Meg are coming up with some different ones.
Well, I want Billy to drink a peanut butter, like a chocolate stout with the boiled peanut like juice.
That's the next one.
All right.
He lives in the South. He's got to do it.
no, don't do that to boiled peanuts.
All right, here we go. All right, Keystone Light without the pickles.
You're a classy bitch, Rich.
So disgusting. I can't even watch this.
Oh my God. Ugh.
It's so gross.
Does it taste like
So
a drinking kid to throw up?
Him and I were E3s together. Like, we used to drink that shit regularly. Don't act like you were classy, motherfucker.
I am a classy. Here's
I
my
mean, you
pickle.
are now.
As he's like holding, I am classy.
That's
All right.
so classy.
So how does this work? I let it sit there.
Yeah, like stir it. You got to finagle it in there.
Stirred, not shaken.
Ew, so, don't do the accent. Don't. It's weird.
It's gross. How do people drink this?
What? Do egg whites in your beer?
Well, we know who's not invited on the podcast. That's great.
Well, I have fresh eggs. I'll actually do that one because I don't have to be grossed out by weirdness. So I'll try that one.
Yeah, you have enough eggs to feed a small village.
I'll do it when
Yeah.
I come up there. I'll do it when I come up there.
Oh,
Ooh,
fuck.
we'll have dueling challenges.
The whole podcast.
For anybody who didn't know, I'm totally gonna out Rich. He is our next warrior coming.
Oh
really,
my
really-
God.
Oh, no, it's
Totally.
How?
Hugh!
I'm here
Ew.
post staff meeting.
Did a seagull shit in your beer?
Not yet, not yet. But the day's still young and the year is still long.
This year needs to be over.
I keep being told there was like a 15-day waiting period for COVID to go away, but I swear to God, I went on lockdown in March. Sorry, I'm late. Thank you for having me. Not that Billy has any choice. 50% of the show is me. 8% is Meg.
Anyway, so back to the real podcast.
Well played. So I'm sorry, I missed the intro. I had to finish up a staff meeting, but I'm here and I'm ready to talk because I'm all.
And the good news is everybody knows who the fuck you are, Hugh.
That's true.
Yeah.
I do require no introduction, but have anybody talked about my eyebrows yet? Because if not, I will be the first.
We gotta wait for Rich with.
Oh, you want me to go and do this?
Yeah,
Do that.
Okay. All right.
Is that a pickle beer?
Keystone.
Yeah.
Keystone pickle.
Ooh, Keith Stone. Nobody's smoother
right.
than Keith
Here we
Stone.
go. Ugh. Yeah, it took some bite off, but
It still tastes like Keystone with a pickle in it.
yeah, it still tastes like
Still says.
Still shitty.
Still tastes like water from an Indian river.
You still definitely picked it up for 49 cents at a Stop and Rob.
At a stop and rob?
Is
Did
that
you
what
not
you,
call it that anymore?
is
No.
that what you watched the gas station sushi down with?
Don't pretend. Other than Meg, the rest of you lived in the 80s. I know you called it a Stop and Rob.
No, where I was from, we just called it Harlem.
Oh yeah. Fair enough.
I was there yesterday.
Danique's got a Stop and Rob at the end of the hill.
We do.
There's like one camera and a bunch of nefarious activities going on down there.
It's funny.
By the way, Hugh, do you notice I always move somewhere that has a Habibalez somewhere
There's
close?
always a Habibulin. Yeah. It's a tactical acquisition. Screw the property, screw the company. How long does it take to get smokes from our location?
Would you like to have a shawarma and a Slurpee?
Hey, prioritize smokes, ice cream,
Yeah.
sometimes alcoholic beverages, and in case of emergency, shit I forgot at the store.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
But you're waiting to buy that stuff because of the lottery. You know, there's a guy up there scratching away. You can have a minute, okay?
The current stop.
Like, fuck lotto people. It is annoying as shit when you're in line behind one of those people.
Oh my god.
Every
the current
day,
Stop and Rob is better though. Oh, those people are the worst. But your current Stop and Rob is better because they let you run a tab, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Habibullah wouldn't let us run a tab. He was
They
like,
also
no,
call us
no,
when
no.
there's problems.
Yeah. I've definitely thrown a Coke every now and again on Matt's tab just because I didn't have any cash on me.
That is not surprising at all.
Although I'm a little upset, I never thought to put my dues on his tab. I don't know why I'm paying for smokes. I'll just add it to Matt's cash tab.
We wouldn't even notice, dude. We wouldn't even notice.
I'm gonna get the girls snacks and sodas on the way out. You want 7 bags of chips, ice cream, sodas? Let's go. Just
Matt
tell
goes
them.
down there like, hey, Mr. Massengill, you ready to pay your tab? It's $398.
Who the fuck did all these Doritos? What is this?
It's been that high before.
He's gonna be like,
It's been that.
Oh my god, that'd be so funny. Gianna would go in there like a fucking fiend, be like, "Oh, Uncle Matt said it's okay."
oh yeah, I've never needed antacids and bread and Coke and antiseptic before, but I do today. Oh, good stuff. All right, so what are we talking about? What are we doing?
Now that my eyes are leaking already from laughing.
Yeah, right.
Oh, absolutely. All right, so
All right, so anybody ever wants to come to 4th of July at my house, it'll pretty much be this times 20 more people.
yes.
And guns.
So
Same
my
thing.
boss doesn't make me fucking work again.
What does you like have your own boss now, or like you're your own boss, a new company? Or
Hey, I don't work there anymore.
can you start a new empire or something? I don't know what's going on with you.
Yeah.
Oh, and baby rabbits.
Oh yeah. Denise got
Oh,
rabbits
baby.
that Guinness almost ate. He was like balls deep in this fucking hole, and I was like, "What are you doing? Get out of there!" And like 4 of them, they went, "Meh, meh, 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 meh." And then he was like, "Oh, you look like something I could eat."
Oh my god.
Right, the one thing I can't handle, animal suffering.
Yeah,
Well, I don't think
Anything
it
else,
would've-
like people want to shoot each other, you do you. Animals
fair,
die.
To be
I
fair,
got like 2
I don't think it would
To be
baby
have.
fair.
rabbits with my wine. I'm like, I have baby rabbits. Where do I put them?
I don't think it would have suffered. I think it would have been very quick.
You mean the 2 baby rabbits in your tank top?
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like holding it like this. I'm like, I caught baby rabbits. Where do I put them? now? Literally, I asked you. I was like, hold my wine glass, and he ignored me, walked away. And I'm like grabbing rabbits.
I did not even hear what she said either. I was like, "What? What am I doing?"
Oh my god.
Sorry. I was still
So
reeling
cute.
because I had to throw my beer at Guinness to get him out of their hole.
So Hugh, in your absence, we actually came up with a last-minute topic in our behind-the-scenes ramblings.
Noise.
And that is, I know, right? Because I feel like you got some skin in the game on this.
I
And
usually
that is
do.
military and social
You know
media.
he does.
Military social media.
The relationship, military and social media. So if
All
you
right,
look
so-
at Vanessa,
Yeah, so let me say this. This came up because a TikTok came
Ew.
across my phone
Ew.
of a blue nose ceremony. So it's the actual
explain what
ceremony.
Blue Nose is, because I
So-
didn't know what it was either.
So this is when you go up into the Arctic Circle, correct?
Oh, okay. So it's like the shellback thingy and the Poseidon's ding dong and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. So my
don't know
wife
what-
showed me because she thought it was funny, and I just stared at it because I was internally very angry as a shellback because that's sacred. So,
Okay.
Yep.
What do
And
you think?
They specifically tell you during, and you know, Danique brought this up too, during other ceremonies in the Navy that are considered traditional or sacred, that photos aren't allowed to be taken.
Right. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that those are just memories that live in your mind and that you
Those
share.
are for you. It's for you and that group of people.
Yes, that you share with those brothers and sisters involved in that ceremony, and that's pretty much as far as it goes. You can tell the stories, and that's about it. So,
Well,
go ahead.
let me add, like, this goes deeper than that. So I mean, not to talk about the social media part, but we're all Navy, which is the branch that is richest in tradition. Like,
sure.
those the dudes have 13 fucking buttons to go pee, okay? Like we're really committed to our history.
Yeah,
Yep.
suck it, National
So
Guard.
our traditions are sacred. So there's a rite of passage when you make chief, like their stupid fucking box and like all the dumb shit that goes with that. It's not talked about unless you're in it. Same with a lot of other communities within the military. So that's where it's like, is social media, even though it has great virtues, especially for connectivity with family when you're on deployment, resources, like I praise social media for so many things. But where do you draw the line as DOD even on controlling, let's call the old school term loose lips sink ships?
Sure.
What are we oversharing location wise, logistics, internal, like selfies, and you zoom in on the background, like what the fuck's on that ship?
Right.
How dumb are people?
Well, I'll say
literally,
this.
some of it's not intentional. It's just stupidity.
In 2010, on my first deployment, I did one of those ceremonies. I did the Order of the Sand Sailor, and I remember we didn't tell anybody. The people who didn't want to participate, who thought it was stupid, we didn't tell them. Now, I'm sure eventually, like, some of our people broke, but like we came back to the hooch, and they're like, "Hey, what happened?" We're like, "No, man, you should have went." And I'm talking people that were friends with those people and very close, didn't tell them. Now, I'm sure they told them later, but in 2010, I remember the environment was changing. So if anybody had taken photos or videos of what we went through, I guarantee it would have been considered hazing and assault. Now, I'm not saying I was bruised or beaten or anything, but somebody somewhere would have got their panties in a wad, made a bunch of phone calls, stirred up a hornet's nest of horse shit, and made a big stink of it. Not to mention that I was in Afghanistan at a secure facility, and then the resources involved in it. But I could only imagine being in a location on a ship that has a lot more secret shit going on than as a CB, most of my gear is from fucking Vietnam or Korea. Like, it's not new stuff. There's nothing secretive about it. Nothing new or cool is going on here. We still dig fighting positions like we're back in Nam. But a lot of those boats, they have some new cool shit on it that our enemies might want to see. For the sake of tradition, I don't think that you should be taking videos and photos. I agree. That's a team. That's a morale thing. That's a bond that connects you. And I'm sure some people might argue, it's like, well, we didn't have the opportunity before. You're right. And when I told my dad about the time in high school when we wrapped this kid up and drop kicked him into the hallway, he said, "Thank God you idiots didn't have cameras, because that's how you get expelled." And then keep in mind, I only graduated in 07. But
I was getting out of the Navy.
Yeah, right. You're welcome. So yeah, I think we're obviously trying to connect more with people in general by telling them what it is that we do. But I think that we clearly have not defined the line in which we overshare or we don't share properly. Another case in point, one of these battalions that's deployed right now shared a bunch of photos of their job site with these dudes wearing black T-shirts in uniform. And there's nowhere is it written anywhere you can wear a black T-shirt. But there's like a third of these people with black T-shirts and a CB logo on it. And we're all back here like, yo, I'm not mad. I just want to know what happened that led you here.
Is that their command shirt?
No, I didn't know. Even if it was, because of the new regulations with uniforms, your shirt has to be an extremely implicitly finite shade of brown. So command shirts are going to be brown. These dudes wearing black shirts. And I'm like, you know what? I just want to know. I just want to see the paperwork you had signed that says that. We still can't even figure out what color belt we're supposed to be wearing. So I get it. I get it. You want to connect, but I think we're doing too much and we're showing too much without thinking about not just the civilians that are seeing them. Because Danique, you're right. There are people who are way better camera and editing skills than myself that could either find something that we didn't know was there or create something and spread hate and discontent. But then there's people like myself who are still 30% in the military and the other active duty personnel who have a Facebook and Instagram or even the most basic internet search history availability going in and seeing this shit, be like, what the fuck is going on?
And I'm curious to hear, everyone that's watching right now, that what their take on it is also the comment, with how they feel about it. But
sorry, Troy, throw Troy's comment up there. That's a really good example.
I have no idea what that is. But see, that's just it. I shouldn't know, right?
So
because I'm not Army Airborne.
Back in
Isn't
the
that where you
day,
get your wings and they like pound
no,
it?
not just your wings. It used to be a warfare device, or when I joined the Seabees, I had the whole Army BDUs, so we used to get rank changes here, and they would pound them in. So that was one of those things that very quickly the Navy was like, that's assault, it's hazing, and it's harassment. And we're over here like, who the fuck cried?
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I
Should've talked
completely
about
agree. That's a rite of passage. Blood stripes, pinning, fucking here, all these different places. Go accordance with body size is all I'll say. There have been cases where it's been escalated.
Yes.
It shouldn't be like that. Like, absolutely, it's a rite of passage. Absolutely, it should sting. You should absolutely remember it for life because you made it. Like, we sign up for
your team. It's done by your team, your family, not a random.
But what I'm saying, put Billy and I next to each other. Billy, how big are you? Height?
6'4", 320 pounds.
I'm 5'9". I'm barely 130. So let's not punch the same collarbone at the same velocity for the two of us next to each other. Is all I'm trying to say on that.
No, you're right.
I'm three
Billy
of the
Billy doesn't get to frock you because you do yoga. That's not fair. That's not his fault.
Well, no, hold on. When I made third, it was still we were still in that, and this is 1889, motherfucker. Get it right. And Rich and Danique know this was tacking on your crow.
Oh, yes, baby.
So when you went through the ceremony, you get your certificate, whatever, from the captain. We're up on the flight deck, you know, and I specifically remember going back down to the engineering berthing and an MR1 yelling out, "Don't anyone take out a fucking camera."
Sure.
Yeah.
Line up all the new guys.
Yeah.
And we had an entire berthing full of already frocked petty officers. Make sure that your arm wasn't working for 3 weeks. And came by attacking your crow.
So I think
you know what? As much as my arm was fucking bruised and fucking hurt, I'm glad I went through it.
Of course, nobody I don't think anybody would feel bad for going through it or like be angry they went through it. But there was clearly a limit, and I think it was right around the time social media and cell phones started being able to take better resolution pictures, and at the same time, the government started pretending to care a little bit more about the shit that was happening to us. Yeah.
Let me say this: as an old fucker,
old salt. We'll call you old salt.
Old salt.
I'm the oldest here, bitches.
We weren't gonna say none, but
all around.
I remember. So here's another problem I have. And this kind of goes back to the last time I was on. We were kind of making jokes about veterans who get out and start
make themselves famous and get money.
Yeah, make themselves. The other thing is these people who are still in. And they're making money off of social media because they're showing things that, you know, my wife texted me. I apologize. She said it was fascinating, not funny. So it's fascinating to a civilian. So they're making money because they're growing their social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, OnlyFans. I mean, whose OnlyFans are we not following?
You know there's at least 3 of them out there.
Oh, yeah. My favorite hashtag on OnlyFans is Dependus.
I like 3. It's like 300. 300.
One ship, one sub, one carrier.
Yeah. Why not?
Is that just Navy or is that all branches?
Yeah,
one helo unit.
That's right. Yeah, there you go.
So
no, Richard, you're right. I don't think that you're allowed to do that either. I think you're not allowed to make money off of the government while you are working for the government. I'm sure the government would find that to be. Oh yeah, of course they are, because you know who's not looking for them on those sites? The government.
Oh yeah.
I remember when I was on deployment, we actually, not me, but like the girls in my squadron, I was P3s. We were in Okinawa, and we had what are called Larry birds. Now, Larry birds are top secret. You could honestly Google it and see a picture of them, but you can't know the tail numbers. That's the thing. If the tail number is in it, you know where that aircraft is and you know where it's flying. And that's the issue with it. These girls did a move of an aircraft and we're like, oh my gosh, like let's commemorate us girls time. And they took a picture in front of this P3. Well, in the background of the picture was a Larry bird. They posted this picture on Facebook, and I remember our MC2 coming in. I looked at him, I was like, dude, you see what's on Facebook? And he's like, what? And I was like, look at this. And I showed him, and he lost his mind. The base CO was pissed because nobody's supposed to know that top secret aircraft is there. And like, we got in so much trouble. Those girls got like, they almost lost rank for that.
They should have lost rank for it.
They should have been kicked out.
They signed everybody signs paperwork for everything. You can't take a shit without admitting you will use single-ply toilet paper that Danique stole from Kuwait.
Yeah, so that was after that incident. I learned, like, if I'm going to take a picture with an aircraft, it better not have a tail number. And if I have a picture in front of any aircraft, I remove the tail number. Like, I will go in and edit it out. Because
it takes you about an hour. Takes you about an hour to edit.
It takes me a while. I'm like, I have to ask people. I have to Google it. How do I do this?
I've just started having to ask at events that I go to if I can either take a picture in that area, but also I've learned whom to take a picture of. So, I mean, yes, whom. So a lot of veterans, and Hugh, you know, one of our warriors from way back when actually worked for another agency after he got out. Mm-hmm. So the entire curriculum, I ended up in the class with him, but we had to edit and make sure he was in no photograph.
Yeah.
He basically was a body snatcher for another agency. He went to other countries and brought people back.
Oh, yeah.
While we're on that, Danique, when I come up to the farm, the company I work for that has a gecko as the mascot, they don't allow you to take pictures of me. So
that's okay. We're just going to crop Chris's face over yours.
We'll take pictures from the waist down of just your dog. Nobody will know who you are.
That's another thing, is Danique. It's amazing to me that people think I have a camera phone. I can just take photos of whatever I want to without asking if it's okay. I used to work at Bremerton Shipyard, and I remember one of the stories they told us was these two girls got off the bus to check into the boat and took a photo, and they were inside the CIA area. And somebody saw them and came over, grabbed their phones, grabbed them by the arm, and took them up to the fucking old man. And they're like, hey, they signed this paperwork back at wherever, jumped off the fucking bus, click, 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 click.
Well, speaking of actually Kittery, Maine.
Kittery?
Yeah. So that base. It has a prison on it that is my most favorite building in the whole wide world. And if I could ever have a place, I want that place. Like, I want to be a princess in that castle. Anyway, it is from the Spanish-American War. It is historic. It is beautiful.
Where is this?
And conveniently,
Kittery.
They were Kittery, Maine, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Kittery, Maine, Portsmouth, on the Piscataqua River. Anyway,
God, that
that prison is the forefront of where they were building the Ghost ship, which was intended for special operations. It's a weird catamaran looking thing. So for a while there, you had to be very cautious taking pictures of the prison as well, because they were, it was one of those things.
They get really finicky,
but they did not fuck around, is what I'm saying. So when my husband was stationed there at the time, people actually got called up to the old man and to security for taking photos from the river even.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So tourism.
They will try to take photos.
I love it. Look at it. Look at that beauty.
Look at that thing.
Can't you see?
I didn't know that existed.
Danique's like, take pictures of my castle all you want. It's right here for you to take pictures
I
of.
want to be with just guns drawn on the fucking tower up there. Just look at that.
Right here.
Yes, man. Yeah. That's my tower.
Have a cannon underneath you.
Danique's like, shoot that. That's a beautiful building. Shoot that.
It's so funny. These people will come in on the boats and the ships coming into port and have their fucking phones out, just taking fucking photos of government shipyards, of research facilities, of repair places, dry dock and whatnot. Like, motherfucker, even though we're not directly at war, we're at goddamn war. China still exists. Russia's still a fucking place. Like, those are our fucking enemies, and you put them up there on your Snatch chat and your Insta fuck and your face fucker. And you know, like, my stuff is all private. Right. Because
Snapchat's the name of his porn movie.
Yeah.
Because Olaf over in the fucking KGB can't break into your piece of shit Zuckerberg regulated platform.
Look at these
Calm down.
morons. They put the
Calm down. The
motherfucker up.
KGB is still on AOL.
That's right.
If anybody knows,
It's still
Who
killing
still
it.
has a Hotmail account.
But I mean,
What
speaking
happened to
of
Stanford Parade?
oblivious tourism, Hugh, was it the USS Miami on fire up there not too long ago?
It wasn't not too long ago. It was pretty recent. I almost
2013. It had to be 2012.
It was 12 or
Matt,
13 because
Matt was active.
Matt was active. Matt.
Anyway,
I think I was deployed when that happened, and I remember coming back, and Nathan was like, "Hey, we're gonna go see Matt," and I was like, "Okay, well, he comes over every day, so I don't know why we're going to his place." And he's like, "Oh, well, him and my dad almost died. Somebody set fire to a nuclear submarine." I'm like, "Okay, so is he not coming over tonight?" Like, but you're right.
People need to understand the geographic location of this conversation.
Oh yeah, so it being
This
right
is
on the
a tourist town where people are
Yes.
going for lobster and to get the typical New England like village.
If it went off, it would have went down. To
And
Boston,
300 feet
Canada.
across the river is a submarine on fire, a nuclear submarine. And those tiles inside, those insulating tiles, talk about toxic burn pit shit.
Good old burn pits.
And not only that, the tug waiting there is there to pull that bitch out to the ocean and sink it when the fire gets too close to the nuclear reactor.
Whilst
All these
also
people
pumping
eating
water in.
lobster are right up the road from this.
Oh
I'd
yeah.
pay for that OnlyFans.
Well, that's the whole thing was, and
Pay for that.
Danique, you know this from when we were in Mayport doing harbor, and then I did as when I was a watch commander up in, and Matt knows this, in Groton. That's like a fucking just the Thames River up there in Groton.
Yeah.
And then they have the fucking boat fest at the Coast Guard. So many choice words. There's like 500 boats. They're just like, oh, we're gonna sail past the base right next to the barrier gate, and the Navy won't do anything.
But that's another civ mil divide,
And just
honestly,
fucking
where
doing
they don't.
this.
You know, when civilians try and think about why are you guys so fucking nuts? It's because when I look at like a perimeter fence, I'm wondering why this shit's not cut a certain way in a distance. And, you know, like I have my crazy. People driving down the road and seeing certain obstacles have their crazy. People who were in specific units have like, you know, visions through scopes they can't handle. But we all have our weirdness.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
it's true.
Well,
And
you know,
social media. I remember so specifically with some of the installations I was at, like, you know, in Masawa, as Meg knows, she was part of the same aircraft that I had to wind up protecting, and we had when I was in Masawa, we had the E-18 Growlers come in for the first time ever to be deployed out of that installation. So it was a big, well, for the locals, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But this one, I just happened to be out on the flight line that night, of course, and this one Air Force kid brought his wife in and got her into the hangar and got her out the door, and she was standing on outside the hangar on the airfield side. She starts snapping photos of the fucking plane.
Nice.
As the pilots were going up for night ops for test flights, and I had an 06 go, what the fuck is that?
Obviously, there's nothing wrong with that situation.
There was a female, I'm going to keep her name out of this, that worked with us that made me look small and dropped her like she was in fucking WrestleMania on the top rope.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
Oh, yeah. But to me, I understand. But it's not that she was a civilian. That's service member.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope he got kicked out.
And I was there from 10 to 12.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he made you.
social media was prevalent at that time.
Yeah.
So, but to put those aircraft, Meg, right?
I think that because you can Google anything, our members just think that it's no big deal. Meg, like you were talking about the plane, technically a mine roller, which anybody can Google, is technically a top secret classified item.
Yeah.
And I think because we can Google and search for almost anything, our members and our public just think, what's the big deal? If they can look for it, why can't I look for it?
So my whole take on it is social media is
Kill them all.
Is good and bad. But
Kill 'em all.
when you're out there, one, you need to listen to your command. You need to know where the fuck you're at and what you're doing.
Yeah.
And just flat out just keep the shit off social media, because you're putting people's careers and lives. And I've told this to civilians. Well, what do you mean someone can get killed?
And you have to explain it to them. You have to walk them through the steps.
We are not the only ones in the world with the fucking internet.
Right.
What?
Except for North Korea. They don't have the internet.
What? No.
You don't know. You don't know.
So
It's
there
like
They
2%.
They have a very sophisticated internet machine.
Well, he's about to die and his sister's about to take over. It's about to get a lot worse.
So
Oh man.
Meg,
I
go
know, I'm
ahead.
so excited.
I'm
Honestly.
trying to tell the story.
Sorry,
Meg,
Meg.
go ahead.
God.
My bad.
Yeah, Ian was in Masawa with me. He knows what I'm talking about.
So anyways,
Motherfuckers, everybody mute themselves if they have appendages. Fuck.
So
Meg,
I worked on helicopters at one point in time. We had
Yeah, we know. We know.
dropped on one aircraft. Each blade costs about $500,000 and they weigh about 250 pounds each. 2 of these blades dropped. One of the guys in my command, this was an aircraft in another command, took a picture of this blade that was dropped. A CO from the West Coast saw this picture on like shit my chief says or shit my LPO says on Facebook. Contacted the CO, one of my command and of the other command that this aircraft belonged to, because it had its tail number on it, and was like, why the fuck am I seeing this? Wasn't even 24 hours. That guy got reduction in rank, and because of that got forced out of the Navy. That was a huge issue. Another thing with social media, especially with like aircraft and having it on ships and everything. Okay, so when a helicopter spins up, their blades in the front drop below 4 feet. So even a midget like Hugh would be killed. They jump very, very low. You're welcome, Hugh. There was a chief on a ship at one point in time that was not looking, and he went into this blade, and it cut the entire top half of his body off. Somebody took a picture and posted it on the internet. No filter, nothing, just half a body. His family saw that before they were notified.
oh my God.
And that is one of the biggest things with the aviation community, because there is a maneuver that we have to do with P3s called man on a stand, where they take 2 B4 stands and they put it on both sides of an engine. A P3 has 4 engines, 4 props. They put the B4 stands on both sides of it. They chain them to the ground, and then a mech like myself has to go up there on the B4 stand. The aircraft is running, the blades are moving, and you have to fix whatever it is. Now, say somebody gets sparked or something's hot and you move your hand back like this, your whole arm is gone because you're right next to that blade. And if they're they record this at all times for safety measures, but it is like, it's such a dangerous maneuver to do. So it's like
if something goes wrong, it's on camera.
It's on camera, but that's because they're like, we need to know exactly what's going on at all times. But it's like official MC people that do this, not unofficial. But if there's
It's the best after action you can get, but that sounds horrendous.
It is. And it's like literally I'm standing here, somebody's standing here. The blade is right here. Like it is not an arm length away. It is right there. And it is one of the most terrifying things because it's a very, very strong downforce that comes from those. And I have been knocked down multiple times from it. Just the wind wash of it is just like incredible. So if there's somebody there who's like, oh my gosh, this is so cool, man on a stand, take a picture, and their family knows about it, it's like, what the fuck? Like, somebody might have gotten seriously injured. Somebody could have died from doing that maintenance action. So even in the aviation community, it's very dangerous. I mean, people get sucked up into blades and stuff all the time.
Yeah, there was a
All
video.
the time? There should be an
Yeah.
entire online forum where I can watch that happen.
Actually,
It's
there is.
It's
Go to YouTube.
called fucking
Nice.
YouTuber.
Yeah, go to Reddit.
Nice. Oh, I do love the good Reddits.
I love Reddit. It's great.
Can we? So, I want to move a little bit laterally. Billy, I want to talk about your week last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 What do you want to talk about, Hugh?
I want to.
Yeah,
You know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about how some dumb. Wait, am I allowed to call them names yet?
mm-mm.
Okay. I want to talk about how some people told you that your dog possibly contracts.
So
and
I
carries-
have since
I
because
didn't
me
hear
and
about
Denise still need to talk about this. One of the places I actually went back to.
Okay.
Because my buddy works there. And
Hold on. Give what happened?
listen, that issue was resolved with that one place.
One place.
So because of where I live,
Hey, you know what, crack-a-lack.
NC State University, a few weeks back they have a huge veterinary school up at their university. So being in close proximity to Raleigh, which is the capital for North Carolina, if you go to a vet and your animal is very, very ill and they can't take care of it there, they'll send you or they'll send the animal and you meet them there to NC State. And they'll take care of it there. And a lot of the time it's also good because it might not cost anything in the same sense.
Mm.
But so this dog was sent there. The dog passed away. All right.
At NC State.
At NC State. It was sick. And unfortunately, the dog passed away. It sucks. But through what? Not
Whose
mine.
dog is-
This is just
Okay.
this was on the news. I'm sorry. That was a good
Oh,
question.
okay.
Meg. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Meg. Yeah.
This is foreplay to get everything into
Yeah.
context.
So this is big.
not-
This is
Not an
big.
appropriate word
Yeah,
choice, but
so
okay.
I heard. I actually wound up catching the story on the news through my phone. Having a service dog, I was a little thrown back from it. I was a little bothered because after the dog passed away, they found out that the dog had the COVID-19 virus. It didn't pass away because of the coronavirus, but it contracted the virus and it was in its system. Okay, so with that being said, when I'm out and about, Whiskey's with me. Okay?
Your dog, right?
Yes, my dog.
Okay.
And,
They're just like carrying a bottle.
and
How it should be, like any other medical device.
yes. I felt like I was
Yep,
getting
keep
yelled
going
at
with
right
your
there.
story. I'm confirming. Go ahead.
Okay.
So anyways, your service dog, your medical
ser-
device was with
My
you.
service dog medical device, her name is Whiskey, not the drink.
Sir.
Okay. She is. Oh, sorry, I need this back.
You better
So
not need it.
I'm partaking. Jesus, can you stop right now?
It's
Fine,
you're
tell
here.
your story.
God,
You're here.
Yelling at you.
God.
So I went to 4 different places within a week, and these 4 places told me I was not allowed to bring my service dog in because I couldn't put a mask up. My dog needed to wear a mask because dogs can contract COVID-19 and spread it. Now, not being prepared for that fucking conversation mentally, I just kind of, you know what? I got really, really, my anxiety went through the roof, and I kind of just looked at him and said, okay. And I had to leave for me because I wasn't going to handle that situation very well at the moment. So it was better for everyone involved, every fucking person there, that I would have just stepped out of facility. Now, one of the places that I do have a friend that works there, I went back and asked if I could speak with a manager because I frequent that place often, and that's what bothered me so much because nothing was ever said before. So when I go out in town, and especially with my kids, I always wear a mask. I'm not going to put a fucking mask on my dog. It's not happening. Whatever. I think it's stupid. So the one place the issue was resolved, I actually got to sit down with the person that said it. She said it out of context of she heard it on the news and took it upon herself to try to keep everyone safe. I actually respected that because of the dynamic of what's going on in the world right now. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. Was it right? Definitely fucking not. But I respected in the fact that her intent was she was unaware. Now she's informed, apologized left and right, said she was so sorry, and she understands and it'll never happen again. Now I'm good because now that place knows where we're at. The other places I haven't gone back to yet, and that's going to be handled at a later date. Danique.
All right. I'm chomping at the bit. First of all, kudos to you for how you handled it. I know confronted, and I know Hugh's been through it.
Bye, Hugh.
It causes anxiety every time, no matter what. So absolutely. COVID is a whole new ballgame. It's very difficult to navigate with ADA versus CDC guidelines, like who supersedes whom on the federal level. So it's not an easy argument. You're better off not making a scene again. So what you did was absolutely commendable.
Because I would have.
I heard about the dog at UNC. So there is this one legend of a dog that supposedly has something to do with COVID. However, other than that, there has been no other warnings or proof or anything of dogs being related to that. And it's also true that wearing a mask on a dog is not really feasible. No. So you did the right thing by respecting their boundaries because making a scene is not the right thing to do. Now, however, if it's something of a necessity for you, obviously contacting them either through social media, email, or some other management route is definitely the way to go. But yeah, I don't have a solid answer when it comes to COVID and service dog access law because there's fear mongering. There is a lot of, I hate to use the word fake news, but there's a lot of false narrative and a lot of one little grain of information that just snowballs into something so much more severe. But remaining professional and courteous about it and being the adult and really saying like, this is my medical device. I need this to get groceries. I need this to bring my children to school is really how you continue the narrative for them to understand. Like, I'm not here to make a scene. I'm not here to bring my bully dog in who has no obedience. Like,
and it's whiskey. Come on.
The proof's in the pudding too. So if you remain professional, that shows itself.
Yeah, and that's
into that whiny social media warrior is not the narrative we go with.
Well, and I think that there's a lot to be said that woman or person. I already said woman. I'm in it now.
Watch
the news and took that upon themselves. That's not your place. That is that a place of employment has a hierarchy, which we refer to as a chain of command, in which motherfuckers know their place. But she should only be saying what she is told to say by those above her and him, because I imagine that, Billy, not all women confronted you at these places. So I think it also says a lot about people not knowing their place in this world and not knowing that they're not professionals. It's not their call to say what they feel. That you're told that you should be saying what the establishment is agreed upon to say. So it'd be one thing if you walked in and said, "Hey, our establishment thinks dogs transmit COVID-19. You can't bring that dog anywhere." Which, of course, I would have advised you, unlike Danique, who's much more professional than I am, like put that shit in writing and give it to me on paper. But if it's an individual saying like, "Hey, you can't bring that dog in here because it's COVID," like, I get the news. That's not true. That's not what happened. And for them immediately to just dismiss you without saying, "Hey, stay here while I grab my manager or my crisis resolution officer," or what have you, I think I mean, we all have our opinions about civilians and their place in this world, and I think that another problem with social media is people thinking that they have a place and have a right to just say whatever they want to on behalf of organizations without having the proper information.
And I agree.
However,
She said, however, you got to give it to her.
So real quickly,
you got to give it
sorry.
however.
But I
Gotta
also
give
want
it to
to say that I am 30 minutes away from NC State. So it's affected this local community that much. NC State's not 4 or 5 hours across the state. It's that close.
It'd be different if you were in a location housing nukes, walking around with a canister with a radioactive sticker on it for funsies. That's not what happened, though. For funsies.
however, what I want to say is how Billy handled it and what Hugh was talking about, really, by not backing the person into a corner, you're also not forcing them to remain completely in the ego zone, meaning there's still room for recovery.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like if you argue somebody all the way up to that ladder, they don't want to come back down because humble pie tastes like shit.
I've heard that
But
before.
if you bow out early and
Which
you
I did.
leave them some room for their ego to come back later and have some kind of mediating conversation, you're going to fare much better than if you back them all the way in a corner.
True. I'm not saying that you're wrong by any means.
And
I was
Confirming what you're saying, Hugh, like really going
Yeah.
that route is just a better way to go. Hugh, I've seen you do it. You've been confronted at a store and the guy literally was screaming at you to get out.
Oh my
Screaming.
God. Yeah. The place was fucking terrible.
By the way, that is turning into a capstone for an intern now based on what happened to you.
Nice. You're welcome, world.
Now I want to hear.
I'm here for you. Oh, we went into this place to eat, and this guy was just shouting at me. The owner just shouting and yelling at me from behind the counter, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And thankfully, I was with Matt and Tanique, who went over there and told the guy basically, "Stop it. Here's what you are and are not allowed to do."
What really happened is
So I've been drinking. That's fair enough.
an Afghani-owned store where we live that serves
Great sandwiches.
Shawarma?
in Germany they're called döner.
Oh, doner kebab.
Yeah, those. And
Okay.
so we were going there. So the owner of the
kebab.
place is familiar with us. So he's familiar with our dogs and he thinks our dogs are legitimate. You know, he's always seen us. He never met Hugh. Hugh went in the store because Matt's still parking the car. Anybody who knows Matt knows this is a 15-minute evolution.
Oh yeah, it's an endeavor.
Strap in, Richard. 15-minute evolution.
Oh yeah.
Richard,
So
it's
Hugh's
wrong.
in the store
Forcing
being
buttons.
confronted by this owner who's freaking the fuck out about you can't have pets in the store. Like he's an immigrant small business owner, okay?
Mhm.
And what the local county taught him is no pets in here or I will shut you down.
Sure.
That's all they said. They didn't
That's
teach
ex- and
anything else.
He said
what?
exactly that. He said exactly that.
So this guy's freaking out because he doesn't have enough. I mean, I'm English second language. I know how easy it is to misunderstand something. Let me tell you what the word douche means in Germany versus America. It's not the same thing.
That's
For the record.
That's
It's
a fun story.
fun story for another time.
Yeah.
So it's a translation issue. It's a culture issue. So then, of course, Hugh is being confronted by an Afghani business owner. So Hugh is deployed a couple times. Who's like, the fuck is going down right now? And then Danique walks in
not
like,
happy.
whoa. I want sandwiches. We're not doing this. I'm hungry. I'm way too skinny for this. No.
We've been driving around long enough. He was so pissed we hadn't stopped to eat yet.
I am hangry. Okay. So long story short, it is a lack in the community of local
Understanding and
resources
awareness.
educating small business owners, especially from other cultures or languages, on any of our ADA laws. So veterans walking into any stores owned by anybody from another culture that may not even have dogs. They may have dogs on the menu. Hello. I have family that's from Vietnam.
It's called house
It's
meat.
an honor to eat dog there.
Yeah.
And I graduate dogs that cost a lot of money. So, there's some cultural differences.
And what's
Yeah.
the ADA for people that don't know?
Americans with Disabilities Act.
Yeah, it's under Department of Justice. That's like
So
a 3-hour podcast.
I was standing there confused. This guy was yelling at me. I turned to Deke. I'm like, you said we were good here. What the hell's going on? And then she was like, what's going on? I'm like, what's going on is I'm having fucking flashbacks and I'm not carrying my weapon. And then Matt came in with Dozer, who's a 110-pound lab mastiff. He goes, what's going on? And Denique's like, well, he was getting yelled at. I'm like, I'm getting yelled at, man. Like, you said we were good here. And then but I will say, after they went and spoke to the guy, he was very remorseful. He was like, listen, I'm sorry. They've told me, and I'm good. Welcome to my deli. Like, can I get you a sandwich? He's very polite about the whole thing.
And I think
and it was good food. Like, I was really excited for the food. Denique was hangry for it. I was excited for it. So after I was done being yelled at, I'm like, all right, cool. I guess I'll still eat your food. Like, please don't.
In my situations in that week, it was just I have very little time to run errands and stuff like that. So it's always hustle and bustle, with the kids and stuff like that. And I try to get stuff done when the kids are with their grandparents. So I'm glad they didn't have to experience that, because they haven't experienced the negative end of bringing the service dog in the store. It's always a positive experience. Everyone, is 9.9 times out of 10. It's, oh my God, that's so cute. Or they get you live in, tobacco country, North Carolina. So when I first came home with my service dog from Leashes of Valor, everyone was like, oh my God, because there's no other service. Like, I'm the guy with the service dog now. Like, I'm literally getting called when I go into the same places all the time. It's like, there's a service dog guy. There's a service dog guy. There's a vet with the service dog. So it was going into that facility. And I think that's a little different from what happened with you, Hugh, is I've been in that place so many times that I didn't know what to say, because I wasn't expecting that whatsoever.
Sure. And it's different because it's not
just bowed out. I just said,
no pets.
Turned around. Yeah.
It's not they said no pets, because when people are like, excuse me, sir, you can't bring pets in here. I'm like, yeah, if I see pets, I'll tell them that. Then I just carry on. And then very quickly do they see the vest. They're like, oh, shit, my bad. No, they straight up said no dogs. Dogs spread COVID.
Yeah. Rich, are you taking notes? Are you taking fucking notes?
Well, Rich, the big question is, Rich, do you smoke?
No.
Well, then you might want to get used to standing around for 10 to 15 minutes.
Bro, I'm married with kids. I'm used to standing around for 15
when you're going through the training, Matt smokes. So you'll sit there like this.
Well, it's weird because, like, he smokes while you drive, which is all well and good. It's his truck. But then you get out, and he's got to smoke before you go in. Like, you just had one. Like, I watched you put it out 8 seconds ago. So, just get used to standing around for a little bit. And your dog, and what he'll do is it's training. Your dog needs to learn to stay for a while. All right, cool.
You guys forget.
Is he on island time or something?
Yeah, I've known Denique for a while. This is.
Hey, guys,
I mean,
Richard's known me longer than Matt has. Just for the record.
No, I know.
Out of anybody here.
I know that. I'm just trying to freak him out before he goes through the training.
That's
like Richard's known me through 3 husbands. I'm just saying.
All 3 of them?
Husbands. Yeah.
Dang.
There's a Rocky 4 joke in there somewhere, and I'm just waiting for it to come to me.
I'm not Liz Taylor yet, so I still got goals, bitches.
The last time I was on here, I was asked about that, and I was like, I did text Nick. I was like, I didn't know what to say because I've known all 3. So,
well, listen, they can't all be 10s, obviously.
It's an upgrade, man. I feel like I achieved something.
That's
I will say,
Richard,
having known all 3 and barely known this Matt, you've definitely moved up.
Well, you're obligated to say that because we all know that he's watching back home, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I've got 2 weeks to spend with him in November. I'm really scared.
Don't worry, we will text you good fun jokes to say.
Oh, I told you, Rich, what we used to do to the new MAs when we would send them up to Matt to go get the harbor report.
Yeah.
Denique knows.
Wait,
Denique,
guys, we didn't say hi to our favorite person yet.
Have we not? I thought we missed it. Oh my God!
You didn't miss it.
Yeah,
hold on.
He's on. He's on.
Where's our Casmarine? Yay!
Okay, go on.
So we used to send, and I've said this before, it was hilarious. At the end of our shift, sometimes, depending on when it was in the week, and Denique knows we did this, I was a assistant LPO for our section, and we'd get these kids right out of MA school. They've been in the Navy less than a fucking year, and I'd be like, "Listen, you need to go up to Harbor Ops, go up to the LPO's office, specifically get up there and make sure that you verbally announce that you need to speak to BM1 Massengill." And get the boat report from him. Don't get it from anyone else because it won't be correct. If he's in his office, if they say he's in his office and the door's closed, just walk the fuck in. And tell them that you need the boat report.
Because nobody's ever had a bad experience just walking.
I swear to God, me and I'm gonna say his name, MA2 Leg. We're sitting in the smoke pit behind the main building, waiting. This fucking kid came almost flying up in the patrol car. And he's like, MA2, I don't have the boat report. They said you need to go get the boat report. And I'm like, well, what happened, man? Like, what's going on? And in my head, I'm like, this is going to be the best story ever. Oh, my God. He's like, BM1 Massacle's he's just angry. He's just an angry person. He yelled. He just pretty much get the fuck out. Go the fuck back to your fucking building.
Clown car, fucking idiots.
Oh my God.
The best was when we used to tell Steve. I'd be like, Steve, I sent another one up there. And he'll be like, do we have any more? Are there more in the building we can fit?
and then there's Danique, narrative with no chloroform. No.
I wasn't even dating Matt back then.
No grinding, no nothing.
It was fun because we all experienced the BM1 Massengill, get the fuck out of my building. I need a boat report. Lashings from him. He didn't care about your rank. He didn't care.
Oh yeah.
No.
The base CO be like, BM1, what the fuck do you need? Like,
he's a goddamn BM1 Massengill. Anybody old enough to know what that name meant knew what that
on the other end, BM1 Massengill got shit done. So you couldn't really fucking argue with that. So it was.
I would just like to say, leading into my 2 weeks up there in November, he's a great man. I hear he walks on water.
Right here, buddy. Right here. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Actually, Rich, the success to the program, and it's always been like that, no matter what organization we work for, and Hugh can attest to this, and even Billy.
Yeah.
If Matt's not an asshole to you by the end, meaning you never want to see him again, and you are not angry at him, you're not graduating.
It's kind of wasted effort, honestly.
No,
meaning he will ride your ass and make sure you graduate and be set up for success. But by the end, you'll want to punch him for it.
You'll be like,
he will get you there.
I'm gonna call you. You'll be like, I'm gonna call you, but like in like a week, once I've like come down and I've decompressed. Because Matt has straight up told every single. I've heard him tell every warrior at both organizations. He said the same thing to me. I hear him tell every person when they ask, well, what is it you make them do? Matt goes, I make those bitches cry. I'm gonna break them. I'm going to make it hurt.
But he pushes you for success. I mean, and me and Matt, and our first time in the truck, in the vehicle, our first training session, we had a conversation, and it pretty much went to the point that I'm not going to treat you any fucking different just because we know each other than I'm going to treat any other warrior, and I didn't expect anything less. And Danique knows because she told me to stop. I was in tears at the graduation ceremony because she told me, don't fucking cry, don't fucking do it. And I couldn't hold it back.
Because then I cry.
Yeah, yes.
Between the two of them, Danique is the man of the relationship between the two of them. So if Danique cries, it's a good day.
No, but I think it was, for me, it was extra special because I've known Matt and Danique for so long. So it was just, to me, it was that emotional through the whole process. And I got fucking frustrated and pissed off, but he talks you through shit, and it's going to be.
And he comes back too. He doubles back. If he's gonna make you cry like a baby back bitch, he's gonna go and be like, "Hey, you done crying like a pansy yet?
Yeah.
Like we got stuff we got to work through."
It's gonna be the best. It's gonna be one of the best experiences.
He's definitely not the worst person any of you have ever met.
So
yeah, but
I love hearing it.
But
it is not a like. This sounds really bullying the way we're describing this. But in the end, most of the warriors, it's really your own coming to Jesus with whatever you have going on. And it doesn't necessarily mean you're revealing all of those. That doesn't necessarily mean any of those things are ever spoken out loud. But you will at some point have your coming to Jesus while you're training with that dog, one way or the other, because that's the only way to really start creating that bond and trust that dog to work for you.
11 out of 10 would recommend Matt Massengill.
I feel so left out now.
I'm not putting it on
Get a dog, bitch.
I'm the only one that doesn't have a service dog.
Shit. Yeah, because your dog will stare at a corner wall.
You have a dog. You have a dog too.
Yeah,
bro.
she's emotional support.
I don't have a dog either, do I?
Yeah, but why
Oh,
though?
I don't know. I don't, why do I have emotional support? Or wait, what?
Oh, why does Riley stare at a corner wall for 4 hours?
Listen, when I got her, I didn't feel safe living alone. So
And I tried to tell you.
Valid reason.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Let's see if Danique can train a dog to stop you from eating broccoli.
oh my god. I asked my stepmom if she could do EMDR on me to like help me not it like
I hated EMDR, I'll be honest. I probably shouldn't say this.
no, it's fine. It basically trains your mind.
Eye movement, rapid, some bullshit. It's a therapy methodology where you
uses your eyes.
It sounds like communist propaganda with more steps.
It might be.
You're not wrong, Hugh, because it really is about reframing your memory of the incident or giving yourself closure.
Oh, socialism.
Which,
I got you.
For me, as a bitter bitch, that was like, there's no backsies. I'm not really seeing where I'm going with this. So I had a hard time with it.
I'll buy it for
I don't think I would benefit from EMDR in the sense that I know my stuff was, I don't regret it, and I don't look back on like sad at it. I look back and I'm like, let's fuck bitches up. But like,
calm down there, tiny dancer.
I think it's so funny. You guys all describe Matt as like this hard, mean person, and I've met him. Yeah, back in July, and like I was like, oh, but he's such a nice person. Like,
it's because he's retired.
So different.
Hey, girl.
I just want to make sure everybody knows it's delicious.
No, Matt's. Honestly, we say these things and it's funny, but Matt honestly is so dedicated to getting the highly trained service dogs out to those vets. No, to the veterans and making sure that they have every single tool that they need for the dog and them to be successful throughout the journey that they're going to be together. And honestly, and me and Rich, we had about an hour-long conversation about this when he asked me what to expect and stuff like that. And I said, I would not have had it any other way than exactly how Matt runs that end of the program.
That's very interesting, Billy, because I remember you asking me, like, hey, what's Matt going to be like? I was like, oh, bitch, I ain't fucking telling you.
Yeah.
I told Billy, you will learn today.
I went to Billy.
I kind of expect that because I saw him at work. I didn't think, I saw him in his work environment in the Navy. So I figured it would be structured in the similar way it was, and I'm glad that it was because, and there was those moments where Matt turns into a fucking therapist while you're sitting in the truck and you got these long drives back, and you don't realize it, but he just starts asking you these questions about just random shit, and you just start talking, and it.
Rich, what were you gonna say?
I will say that anybody who can be married to her is and this is true because we have been friends for a really long time.
So you've seen the machete in the silverware drawer?
Man, I've seen a lot more than that.
There's a cleaner in there with the pots and pans somewhere. You have to dig for it though.
I was afraid to go to her house. I'm not gonna lie right now, hands. But anybody who's married to her and does what you guys, have gone through, it means a lot to me. And, I joke about being scared. I'm legitimately excited. Danique will tell you. I text her about once a week, can we do this now? Let's just do this. I'm excited. I really am.
And you should be, man. And I'll tell you, it's a solid, quick transition into what your new life is going to be like. And Matt and Danique and Jason make sure that happens. And I can tell you, at least from Billy and I, we're excited to welcome you into the fold and be able to talk to you about it after you go through the program. And of course, have you in for drinking events and whatnot.
Yeah, it was cool. Like the moment, like when me and Hugh went up to Makers and did that podcast for Makers, it was just cool to have the dogs there, and just to they're so well trained, and then you keep
just laid there for the 2-hour show.
Yeah, Whiskey just sat there and stared at me the whole time. Like, okay, that's good. That's good. All right,
Guinness is like, I have to pee and I don't care about you. Let's do something about it.
Right.
Yeah.
So Meg, have you filled out the 15-page application?
I have not, but
Give it time.
I don't know if it's for Meg.
Yeah, I don't know if it's for me because I don't have like anxiety attacks that often anymore now that I'm out, because it was mainly because my chiefs used to yell at me and be like, "You're a fucking murderer." Like, and I would get really like scared. I was like,
It turns out as a civilian, you can commit the murder a lot more easily and get away with it, because the military was like, "Oh, woman, she did it." But as a civilian, you're like, "The murder."
No.
Get away.
No, because if I did anything wrong on my job as a mechanic and that aircraft went down, each of those people are considered manslaughter.
Yeah, but honestly, are they all 10s?
I mean, that's
Jesus,
not
Hugh.
You don't get to play like that.
I'm just saying.
You're out of your generation, my friend. You're out of your
I will
generation.
tell you, give me a year. Once I get my place down in Virginia, I will probably put in an application to be a foster mom.
But I just want to, people need to realize that service dog is not the end all be all for everyone. And I'm going to generalize it. I'm going to take that liberty. A lot of females. Usually what caught our problems was getting a lot of attention, and having a service dog brings even more. So my experience in the end actually ended up being my anxiety was aggravated because the dog added more attention than I already didn't want. The last thing I ever want in life is to be famous. Like, literally, fuck that. So to have a dog next to me and then being a skinny blonde, it was like the worst equation ever.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot for me. And so the worst incident ever was at LAX airport. Like, we were coming back from a gala in LA, and the next morning, the worst anxiety level with a dog, attention at the worst airport ever. It was not the solution for me. I prefer being a wallflower. Like, I'm meant to be a professional wallflower. And I know other women who are professionally in industries where they prefer not to have a dog that draws attention to a disability or just to them, period. It's unfortunate the industry is like that, but I can totally respect and actually empathize with that sentiment that not everybody wants additional attention. However, for people who have been in combat situations, which a lot of the guys, don't fucking sue me for gender bullshit. A lot of the guys, anyway, it works for them because the dog fills a need for something. I can't, I haven't walked that walk, homie. I'll dig down in the pit with you. Y'all know that, but I haven't walked that walk, but that dog works for y'all. So let's do it.
It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, Whiskey is, she's, and you spent so much time with her. She's not just as a service dog, just as a dog in general. She's just amazing. And
if you don't want her anymore, I'll take her. It's fine.
No.
Wow.
No, but even with my children, when we're just in the house, relaxing and everything, just the manner she is with the kids is I couldn't ask for anything more. Even my daughters have said something to me that, I'm glad you got the dog, Daddy, because you're doing so much better. And I'm getting teared up because it really, really changes your life that much. It really does. So I'm happy you're going.
It'll be great.
It's
Shut up, Hugh. Fuck off.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I want other veterans to see me with my service dog and go, how can I do that?
Yeah.
I think that would help me. How can I do that?
Oh God, Rich, I've talked about leashes of valor so much because of the dog.
Right.
They're like,
I don't
"Where's
even
my
have-
dog?" And I
I
start
don't
going
even
into
have a
like
dog.
this. I'm like a hype man. I'm like, oh, you got a phone? Go to leashesofvalor.org.
It's not because
Yes.
of my awesome cooking. What the fuck is wrong
Yeah,
with you
right?
people?
I just want to say
I would
this.
love to be able to do
The
that.
majority of people who've asked me about Guinness and having a service dog, they're like, hey man, how can I get a service dog? And I always ask them, I'm like, well, listen, have you done therapy or medication? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, well, listen, I'm not saying a service dog isn't for you. I'm just saying it's a big lifestyle change that you don't have with therapy and medication. And I recommend you work through those steps till you get to the point where you say, hey, listen, the traditional routes didn't work for me. I want to try a service dog. Because it's a big change. I can attest, Billy, you can attest, Danique, you can attest 3 times over. I mean, it's not like you started a company all willy-nilly for funsies and whatnot.
Yeah, there's nothing else to do on a Friday night.
Right? Yeah. So I just feel it's worth mentioning. You should try the traditional routes.
Yes.
And if it doesn't work, then pursue the other options. Because I imagine I would feel like a huge cunt if it turned out the basic antidepressant the basic antidepressants would have done it. But I took $25,000 in service dog training for myself because I didn't want to take pills.
See, and
That's all I want to say about that.
And that's the conversation. I was
Okay,
sitting on Danique's. I was sitting on Danique's front porch, and we were, and they know all the medication I was on. We
Porch
talked about this.
sitting.
Yep, porch
right.
sitting. And she came up to me and literally grabbed me by the shoulders and goes, "You need a fucking dog."
And Matt said the same thing to me. I had been
Because
doing
they
the
saw
same
me.
time.
Yeah, they saw that I wasn't handling. I wasn't
The
doing
regular shit wasn't working.
Yeah. And I'm glad that I have friends like that. I'm glad that I was able to do all this through Leashes of Valor.
Friend, a little bit of a stretch, but okay.
I'm like a bad rash. I never go away.
Yeah, those are the words your husband would use.
All right. Well, guys, this has been another amazing podcast. I'm so glad, Danique and Rich, that you guys were able to come on here with us tonight. Since Hugh had a supervisor.
I did, in which I did not speak.
Him thinking he's important or some shit.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
For the record, our tax dollars paid for that shit.
Yeah, your tax dollars are paying for this per diem right here. Right, Billy? The crystal clear water and the paddleboarding.
You're welcome.
And the dependent seals.
Enjoy.
Do you hear them? They're all out there like, I need a mate.
That's so bad. All right,
And
thank you.
thank
you
Hugh,
so
fix
much.
your tan line with that tax
Yes.
money I sent in.
I do need to switch to the other side next on Thursdays. Yes.
Yeah.
Oswald,
Turn
to
the
you
other
guys.
cheek.
Cheers.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys so much. Love you all. We'll see you guys on Thursday night at 8:30. Have a good night, everyone.
20, 30 military types.
Oh, fuck off.